ready.
Ready.
May I have your attention, please? If you haven't done so at this time, please silence all cell phones and pagers, and please sign in. Thank you.
Good morning. This meeting of the Louisiana Tax Commission is hereby called to order. This meeting is being held at the offices of the Louisiana Tax Commission at 1051 North 3rd Street, Suite 225, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The date is Wednesday, January 15th, 2020, and the time is 10:04 a.m. Please call the roll.
Chairman Shahardy.
Here.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Here.
Commissioner West. Commissioner Vercher.
Here.
Commissioner Wood. 4 present and a quorum.
Thank you. There being no old business to take up at this time, I'll accept a motion for the approval of the minutes of the December 4th, 2019 meeting.
So moved.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent. Commissioner West. And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. I'll now accept a motion for the approval of the December 11th, 2019 meeting.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent. Commissioner West. And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. The commission will now consider change orders.
Good morning, Commissioners. Meridian Ponce on behalf of Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 1,759 change orders. Staff has reviewed those change orders and requests to approve 1,683, place 42 in pending status, and deny 34 for not providing an occupancy date. 1 in Beauregard, 5 in Calcasieu, and 28 in Caddo Parish. Staff requests approval of these change orders.
Do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve 1,683, place 42 in pending, and deny 34 change orders as recommended by staff. Second.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent. Commissioner West. And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. I now consider prior pending change orders.
Meridian Ponce on behalf of Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 94 prior pending change orders. Staff has reviewed those change orders and requests to approve 76, keep 16 in pending status, and deny 2 per the assessor's request, 1 in Acadia and 1 in Iberville. Staff requests approval of these prior pending change orders.
Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve 76 changes, deny 2, and keep 16 remaining independent. Prior pending, I'm sorry.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent. Commissioner West.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. We'll now consider tax sale cancellations.
Tanisha Malvo on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 1 tax sale cancellation in the parish of St. Martin, reason being because of the homestead exemption being removed by error. Staff request approval of the tax sale cancellation.
Have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we accept staff recommendation and approve the 1 tax sale cancellation as submitted.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent. Commissioner West.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. All right, before we get into our appeal docket this morning, I'm going to ask anybody who is planning on coming forward to testify at the table this morning to please come forward to be sworn in as a witness. You'll have to be sworn in as a witness in order to testify this morning.
Good morning. My name is Drew Hoffman, I'm attorney for the Tax Commission. Have you ever done this before? We swear all the witnesses in at one time. I'm going to administer an oath. If you'll can approach any of the 3 microphones, affirm the oath by stating "I do" and state your name for the record. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? One at a time, approach the microphone.
Alicia Labatt, Louisiana Tax Commission, I do.
Bradley Hausman, I do.
Thomas McQuaid, I do.
Russell Almaraz, Orleans Parish Assessor's Office, I do.
Mark Gillespie, Louisiana Tax Commission, I do.
Perfect. You can have a seat in case we call one at a time.
Thank you. It is the Tax Commission's policy to accept all documents into the record that were timely pre-filed in accordance with the Commission's rules and regulations. This will be done at the conclusion of all hearings on today's docket. Accordingly, there is no need to formally offer or introduce the exhibits into the record during your appeal hearing. However, if you intend to object to the submission of any of the opposing parties' exhibits, you must notify the Commission at the start of your appeal hearing. As a reminder, this is an administrative hearing, and as such, the rules of evidence are relaxed. The Commission is inclined to review and consider all evidence submitted and to accept such evidence into the record. First matter on the docket this morning is the appeal of Bradley Hausman versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 19-22177-009. Mr. Hausman, come forward. Good morning. This is a taxpayer appeal, so Mr. Hausman will ask you to please go first and tell us about your appeal.
Good morning, gentlemen. I appreciate the opportunity to hear my case. My wife and I moved to New Orleans in the summer of 2016. I'm in the Marine Corps. I received orders here in New Orleans. We like it a lot there. We purchased the house for $540,000 in August of 2016, and probably give or take in the last 6-7 months we received a notification that our taxes were going up, and what the price they said our house is worth. I believe that there's no way I'd be able to sell that house for what it was assessed. So we appealed with the city. I believe it was twice. I could be wrong. And then finally, I was given the opportunity to appeal it to the State Commission here. We're requesting, based on the assessment, the state came to our house, looked through the house, did an assessment. It actually assessed less than what we paid for the house. All we're asking is that our taxes stay the same. Based on, I don't believe our house has gone up $80,000 to $100,000 from the time we've purchased the house. I know some of the houses in our neighborhood have gone up in value, and have been able to sell for a higher value, but those houses have garages. We don't have a garage. We're at the corner lot on a busy street, and that's the reason why I don't believe our house is based on what the city assessment is. And that's all I'm asking, is for our taxes to stay the same.
Let me ask you real quickly, because that was some confusion. At the Board of Review, at the city, were you asking for a value of $540,000?
I just wanted our taxes to stay the same, sir. That's it.
The assessment last year was, the value in 2019, and Mr. Alvarez, correct me if I say something wrong, I'm just reading off of the assessors, printout from the assessors website.
Yes, sir.
In 2019, the total value was $579,000. Is that correct?
I believe so. I was trying to
Yeah,
verify that.
that's,
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Well, then,
okay.
yes, that would be correct.
yeah, 7041 Roy Street.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? Your address?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay. So you're asking that the value, your request is the value just not go up from where it was
Correct.
last year?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you keep saying taxes, but we're
Okay.
we're
We
looking
deal
at
with
market
assessment,
value.
yeah.
Fair
Looking at
enough.
value.
Yeah, we don't,
I've never done this, sir.
yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry.
it's no problem, that's no
We
problem.
just want to make sure we're
Yeah.
using the right.
We
Sure.
deal strictly with value. If the
Fair enough.
millage doubles, we don't control that.
Sure.
If it gets cut in half, we'll take all the credit.
Just the value.
Just the value, okay. All right. Okay. Mr. Alvarez, I know I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, and I don't mean to be cutting you off in your argument, but our discussion. You submitted the office did a new valuation on the property
Yes, sir.
and put the value at $550,921?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's the value you're asking for,
Yes, sir.
is that value? Okay,
I haven't seen that.
yeah, okay, well, yeah, you should have been provided a copy.
My apologies. That was
Certainly
the-
could, but it's in your favor, so,
Okay.
yeah.
The value you're protesting is, so we make sure we're clear, 622,000.
Yes, sir. I
Yeah,
had
and-
no idea
and
about
it's
the
been-
550.
Yeah,
Yes, but unfortunately, I was not able to get in touch with you. They let us go half a day on Monday
Okay.
for the state game, but I had submitted a fee simple appraisal, and I believe that the 622 was an error, and our office is requesting it to be lowered to 550, 900.
And I'm more than willing to accept, my wife and I are more than willing to accept that.
Okay.
So your 551 value that they reset would be acceptable to you?
Yes, sir.
we've got more to do, but let me.
That's what he's okay.
All right, well, let me let you wrap up. You don't need to say a whole lot more, but you say whatever you want to say. If there's anything else you want to add.
No,
Okay.
sir. Just, gentlemen, thank you for your
Yeah,
time. I
sure.
appreciate you seeing
No
us.
problem.
We need to hear from the appraiser.
Yeah, let's hear from Mr. Alvarez.
Yes,
if you
sir.
Just,
Commissioners, so we revalued the property. We came up with an initial valuation of 622. Upon further review, the appeal that was, because the property was appealed, we did a fee simple appraisal, revisited the issue. The fee simple appraisal came out to 550,900, and then we submitted that request to the tax commission to adjust our value from 622 to 550. Unfortunately, we were not able to contact the the taxpayer with that offer.
So is it 550 or 551?
$550,900. Or-
559.
$550,900.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And the land value is remaining constant at 120,000?
Yes, sir. Land value at 120, building at 430,900 for a total value of 550,900.
And just so, for your education, the land value, obviously, we want it to be correct. The building value, we want it to be correct. But when you're dealing with residential property, the land is valued at, assessment is based on 10% of the land value. The improvements are based on 10% of the land value. So if you lower the land, you're going to be raising the building. If you raise the building, you're going to be lowering the land. So we don't need to get into,
Yes, sir.
you know, I mean, again, you don't want the land to be worth $20,000 and have it valued at 120, but I'm sure that's not the case here. So we just worried about the overall value.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Mark
Mr.
Gillespie with the Tax Commission. I appraised the property in question and used 3 comparable sales within the same, actually in the same neighborhood, according to the assessor's website, West End Park South. Modest adjustments, 2 to 5%, and arrived at a value of $500,000 for the whole property.
Okay. Well, I think that the assessors calculated a value of $550,900. I mean, the parties seem to be agreeable to that.
Need a motion?
Yeah, Mr. Wagsback, go ahead.
Based on the testimony given and the agreement amongst parties, we'll set the land value at $120,000, the improvements at $430,900, for a total valuation of $550,900.
Second?
Commissioner Archer?
Yes.
Commissioner Waxback?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent. Commissioner West?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi.
Yes.
Appreciate your service.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. Just give me 1 second to shuffle papers. All right, the next matter to come before the commission is the appeal of Thomas McQuaid versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 19-22173-001. Again, Ms. McQuaid, this is your appeal, a taxpayer appeal, so we'll let you go first.
Good morning. Thank you for hearing the appeal. I'm Thomas McQuaid. I work at Delgado Community College.
Pull your microphone a little bit closer.
I work at Delgado Community College. I was very excited to purchase what I thought was a historical home on Murray Street. I really desired to redo the historical home. There was a little road bump in 2016. It got hit by a tornado. At the time I got hit by the tornado, it forced me
It's
to
not a
have...
little, that's not a little road.
I know. At the time I got hit by the tornado, it required me to gut the entire house and get rid of everything inside. I then had the wonderful fortune of having a Katrina-style fight with my insurance company that lasted a good year and a half. During that year and a half, to try to secure the property, I redid the exterior and the roof while the inside remained gutted. It was a long haul. I'm unsure when exactly the city assessed my home. As of August 1st, there was no electricity, there was no plumbing inspection, there's no occupancy permit, there's no HVAC. As of the January before that, there weren't even walls. So I find it kind of odd and arbitrary that my assessment value was more than my neighbors who have all those amenities.
So you're telling us that if we were to come out to your property today, we couldn't live there?
It has,
I
no,
mean, you
occu-
could-
it
you
has
can-
no HVAC and it has no occupancy permit yet or
So
final
you-
building
if you were to
inspection.
live there right now, you'd be illegal?
Right.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I'm not saying that my taxes shouldn't go up. I think things in the area did go up. I feel that the representative from the Tax Commission who came and did fair market value assessment was on spot and actually visited the property and saw the issues that had occurred and what the state it was in. So I would defer to that.
So for all practical, from a realistic standpoint, the property really is not habitable?
It's not habitable.
I mean, I realize anybody can go throw a sleeping bag on the floor.
Right.
But I mean, from a practical standpoint,
From a practical standpoint, there is no HVAC or air conditioning whatsoever, and that's the major issue
Okay.
right now.
all right. Okay. Mr. Alvarez, are you aware of the conditions of the property that he's talking about?
No, sir, I was not aware of the interior condition of the property. From the exterior looks like it's been renovated, so our office was in the assumption when we saw the renovation permit that it had been completed. Due to the new information that came to light this morning, we don't have an objection to the staff's appraisal, with the understanding that condition is going to have to be verified on a yearly basis. We're going to assume that it's completed for next year.
Yeah, I would, yeah, I mean, I would think that you would go
Trust me,
verify for next
It needs
year.
to be completed by next year. It's been too
Better be-
long
it
and too
better be right.
awful. So I will join you with that.
Because
Yeah.
as the exhibits given by our office, that's what we were looking at. It was a curbside view, and it looks like it had been completed, but I was found out this morning it has not been completed, so we are not objecting to staff's appraisal.
So, okay, so you're okay with the staff appraisal, and $100,000 will be acceptable
Yep,
for you as a taxpayer?
absolutely.
All right, Ms. Labat, why don't you go ahead and
Sure.
put your record, and tell us about the condition of the house as well,
Sure.
or the property.
So upon inspection of the house, from the exterior, it does look as though it's in very good condition. Once you get to the interior, the home is not heated and cooled, did not have an electrical permit upon my inspection. It has subsequently obtained one. That information was not available to me at the moment because of the cyber attack on the city, so I couldn't provide that to you all. However, the majority of the home has been completed. The renovations have been completed. There is a portion that still is studs, it's camelback. So there's a portion that hasn't been sheetrocked and enclosed. There is no HVAC. There's no occupancy permit. And so for that reason, I classified the property in fair condition. And also when I spoke to the assessor, I said if I would assume that by the ensuing tax year, the property would be complete and the condition would then change. So as a result, I used comparables within the neighborhood in fair condition, determined a value of $100,000 with $24,600 attributed to the land and $75,400 attributed to the improvements of the property.
Okay. Do you have any questions? All right,
I'm prepared to make a motion.
please do.
As it pertains to docket number 19-22173-001, I move that we set the total value at $100,000, broken out at $24,600 for land, $75,400 for improvements.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagstaff,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent, Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardi.
Yes.
Ms. LeBlanc, you didn't break your finger
you.
while inspecting his property, huh?
Do I get workman's comp because that might change my answer?
Just making sure you didn't have anything else to worry about.
All right, thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye.
No problem, thank you. The Tax Commission hereby accepts all pre-filed documents and oral testimony into the record as Taxpayer Exhibit 1 in Globo, Assessor Exhibit 1 in Globo, and Louisiana Tax Commission Staff Appraiser Exhibit 1 in Globo for each appeal hearing conducted today, respectfully. The remaining items on the docket for today, the appeals, have either been withdrawn or have been settled. So we have no need to address those appeals today. We'll now have a presentation by our Commission Administrator, Michael Mathern.
Good morning, Commissioners. Michael Mathern for the Louisiana Tax Commission. I wanted to share with you some of the things that are going on with the agency from our three different divisions. Of course, all of our attention the last 6 months has been on the appeals and the appraisals, and if we had capacity to satisfy those appeals with the amount of appraisers that we have on board. I'm happy to tell you that the division head for the appraisal division did interview some candidates for the appraiser's job, was pleased with a couple of them, and we will move forward with that process. I'd like you to know that of the 1,005 real estate appeals that were filed, 862 remain. Mr. Crosby and his team have assembled a plan to appraise those properties in-house, so we will not farm any of that out. They've done an outstanding job of classifying the properties by geography, by putting them in the different New Orleans districts, and have assigned appraisers to those districts, and they have a plan to go forward, and we think it's a solid plan to get those appraisals done, to put those appeals on the agenda to move forward. So we were all nervous about that, but Mr. Crosby and his team has done a job to identify that concern and get those appeals done. On the Public Service Division, procedural letters were sent to taxpayers in December. The procedural letters are instructions to the taxpayers on how to complete the forms that those folks need to determine the value of public service properties. Approximately 700 companies are assessed by the LTC, and those letters went out in December. Returns are expected soon, with deadlines in March and April, depending on the classification of the public service taxpayer. From the administration perspective, I want to thank Ms. Tanisha Malvo for staying on OTS to get us streaming today. That capacity is diminished today, but we hope to have improved capacity in the future. I'm happy to inform you that the Tax Commission received its third positive time and attendance review from the Division of Administration. Ms. Ashley Alangio is our time administrator, and she was commended. The letter said Ashley has done an exceptional job of ensuring accuracy of time entries and maintaining documentation of attendance. So that is steps in the right direction, and that's the third one we've gotten since May. I met with the budget team with the Division of Administration last week with Commissioner Darden, Ms. Barbara Goodson, and her budget team to review what we submitted. They were pleased with what we submitted. Today at 1 o'clock, the Revenue Estimating Conference will assemble, and the division will have a much better understanding of what potential revenue is for the state. They asked us to prepare some scenarios for a 1%, 2%, or 3% budget cut, which we have done and submitted, but things should clarify as we go forward. And if there's some good projections today at 1 o'clock in REC, we'll have a much clearer vision of what we look like in the future financially. Any questions? Any questions for me?
Any questions? Thank you for for your update and keeping us informed.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, I believe there are no other matters to come before the commission at this time. I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Commissioner Vercher?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagasback?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood is absent. Commissioner West?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes.